Kate Hardcastle is a retail expert and founder of Insight with Passion. She joins us now. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on the programme. Look, there's been a lot of buzz around online food delivery platforms, especially through lockdowns, yet it's still a tiny market. What more do you expect?
Well, I think we're going to see more growth. There's so many things that are factored here. I think at the start of lockdown across the world, people did look at alternate grocery supply and safe grocery supply, and they did use meal subscription services, restaurant delivery services to feed that. But actually, as you start to look at how consumer appetite has changed in other areas, things like wanting to learn new skill sets. So a lot of these meal subscriptions provide an element of cooking and then guided cooking. So it feeds into that. Healthy eating has become even more paramount, and many people starting to work from home and staying working from home has meant that people are looking for a variety of meal options. So the consumer zeitgeist is also feeding into this, and I think that's created what we're seeing as certainly a growth market for months to come.
You say it's a growth market, but growth in this sector is going to be expensive. I mean, just look at HelloFresh, for example. Strong sales, but those margins, they've been squeezed.
There is so much to factor in when we think about these businesses. They've got to have strong local supply network. They've got to keep an eye on one of the most movable prices we've got in most continents at the moment in terms of the food pricing. They've got to make sure that their delivery model fits, and also delivery model versus a geographic region. Some areas are much easier to cater for when you've got a cluster of customers versus more spread out areas. So as these organisations grow, just as we saw the supermarket grocery delivery model start to adjust and take time to make profit, we're going to see that slow curve build to profit opportunity.
You talk about all those challenges. I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why the Ocado boss says that this is just a fad. Do you agree, or do you think that this rapid delivery model is going to be a serious contender for grocery market share?
There's so much crossover with the different types of provision here. We've got everything from meal subscription boxes to quick grocery delivery, which is very much based on that speed of delivery and those cluster zones where you've got a built-up community. So I think different types of the delivery service will work better than others and in different geographic location. But in terms of the idea of having food provided to your door rather than having that cumbersome chore to do every week, I don't think this is a slow burner. I think this is something where there is consumer appetite and demand for a good amount of time to come.
So let's talk about some of those companies that are making headlines. I'm thinking, Deliveroo and Delivery Hero getting that big stake. The Delivery Hero CEO said there's no scenario where buying that stake was going to be a bad investment, although neither company has made a profit. So talk me through the sense in that.
Well, I think it's down to consumer demand, but it's about these quite relatively new businesses starting to get a foothold with consumers. Many of them are offering discounted rates or even free boxes to start people off on the service. Huge amount of discounting that we saw too with the likes of Ocado when they start that delivery model. You've got to gain consumer trust, then you've got to build consumer loyalty. Another is very much about the staffing model. How are you going to make sure that brand is delivered to everyone's doorstep perfectly, on time, in full, on every occasion? Very complex, needs a huge amount of investment. So I think they're seeing this as a long-term piece, but I think consumer appetite will continue to be there for two reasons, really. First and foremost, when it comes to the mundane like grocery, people just want to spend their time doing much better things, much more exciting things. And secondly, I think that it's that convenience that allows you to buy more frequently and make sure that you stay on top of the waste. Ecological and environmental is a factor here when it comes to consumers. They're going to be weighing up, how do you make sure that you're dealing with organisations that are doing the right thing by their staff, by their stakeholders, and also when it comes to ethical and environmental.
Well, it sounds like what we need are hungry consumers. Katie, a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.